and shit. You know what I mean?
We ain't did this shit
spar
in
it
a
up.
minute, man.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
gonna
this
spar
shit
it
gonna
up.
be good. Yeah, this shit gonna be good, man. How your brother?
He chilling.
Yeah.
He wanted to come, but he's shooting a video right now.
Okay.
Do not allow anything to take you off of your square. It's the same thing like what we see right here. Yeah, it's cloudy, yeah, it's misty, but it ain't gonna stay like that forever.
Peace to the family, peace to and yours, brother Red Pill reporting live and direct. Yes, this is a very, very special episode that we're gonna be doing tonight. I am sitting here with none other than the man himself. Let the heavens roar. We are here in the ATL of all places with Captain TAZARYACH from the ISUPK, man.
Man, I appreciate
Peace
it,
to
Red, man.
God.
That's an excellent
On his shirt it
thing,
said
man.
Real Nigga University.
Real
So
Nigga
black to me,
University.
y'all.
Yeah, Real Nigga University.
Indeed.
I wore it on purpose because we real niggas.
Real niggas,
Yeah,
man.
no, I was debating these white boys just last week, right? And so they asked me, they say, name one thing that black people gave to humanity. And I said, that Bible. I said, that Bible y'all all believe in. Y'all gonna serve a nigga God
Right.
and a nigga king.
Right.
And they went crazy.
I saw that clip.
yeah, he went crazy when he said it. So that's why I wear the shirt, because it's eye-opening, because for those of us that believe in the Bible, they wouldn't think we would use the word nigga the way that we use it. But
That's
the word
right.
nigga's in the Bible, Acts 13:1, it just means black. So when they call you a nigga,
Right.
that they used as a down turn,
Right.
really can be our upturn.
Upgraded.
You know what I mean?
Right,
It could be
right.
our upgrade. It's like, okay, they was calling them niggas in the Bible because
Right.
they was black. So we got to be them same people. So even the word
fact.
nigga can be a teaching point, biblically. So.
I mean, we're magical people, and they say that words create worlds. So we're not subjected to a word.
Right.
There's no word that somebody could throw at me and knock me off my square
Right.
or give me a bad day.
Right.
I'm never gonna let a word do that to me.
Real talk.
So the alchemists that we are, we took nigga. Tupac said, never ignorant, getting goals accomplished.
Okay,
You feel
okay.
me? And we was like, that makes sense.
Right,
So
right.
it's like, yeah, we don't, when I use nigga, it's not as an epithet. I don't say it with the hard ER. You know what I mean? Like, I say that for my niggas.
Right,
You know what I
right,
mean?
right.
So I definitely, I feel you on that. Let's get right into this
No
thing,
sweat.
man.
What's up?
It's been a minute since me and you even sat down with each
Yeah,
other.
yeah.
One of the things that I could definitely say with all confidence is over the past few years, the star of Captain TAZARYACH has risen very brightly, amongst many others and whatnot. And I'm very proud of you for, holding it down, holding down the square, staying consistent, because consistency is key. I belong to a movement where a lot of people started out real confident on the racetrack. But as Nipsey and them say, it's a marathon. You know what I'm talking about? It's not a race. So we saw a lot of people have weak legs, and they did a few laps. But shout out to my niggas on them cereal boxes. What has kept Captain TAZARYACH consistent? What has kept you, with strong legs? What has kept you going and going and going and continue to go in the midst of all of the madness, the changes, and all of these other things that have been going on?
One thing I'll say is that what I have that I can't speak for what everybody else have is my belief in the Bible, my
Yes.
belief in the Most High, and the leadership that I have with Commander General Hanna, the generals that have pretty much guided me. Like,
Yes.
I was like all them other brothers getting into that race trying to run that marathon. But with every step that I would take, I would always ask my generals and get counsel.
Okay.
Like the scriptures say, in the multitude of counselors, there the city is safe.
Right.
So me getting that counsel, I would say, in the beginning, I used to want to go everywhere. Like when I got into, when the Sinettas and all them came in front of the camps and they won a battle, I wanted to go to every single battle. But what they would tell me is that, don't go to this battle, go to this one. Don't go to this one. Don't go to this event. This event not gonna be good. And I didn't always understand it in the beginning, because my mind is like, if I'm supposed to be battling these niggas, I don't want to sit down. But I would always listen, because they outrank me, they wiser than me, and it ended up being the right thing, because now I know how to discern where to go and where not to go. So that would be the first thing. The second thing is I love like black people to the point to where I don't know if y'all could ever get rid of me.
Right.
Like I'm going everywhere, wherever niggas is at.
Wherever,
when I'm saying black, like that's my all of my brothers of the 12 tribes, you know, we had the blacks, Hispanics. So wherever they at, that's where I'm gonna go. You're not gonna get rid of me.
Right.
And I can run. What
if we go to an Afrobeat show? You coming with us?
Who's Afro? Oh, that's some Africans in Hamline? Oh, nah. Them Afrobeat, listen, they coaching roaches too, man. You know them Hamline.
We're gonna get into it.
Yeah, we're gonna get into it. You know what I mean? Because I think they take the essence of the West Indian, Caribbean music, you know, that we created, like that was a part of hip hop.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like Kool Herc, West Indian, you know what I'm saying?
Dance hall,
that was dance hall. The Puerto Ricans with the dance, like all of those was the elements of culture. Exactly. All of that was the elements of culture that we built. And then these other nations, we gave away. Like when you think about it, we give away all of, you made a point earlier, you were saying that we're magical. Mm-hmm. But with that magic, we don't know how to defend ourselves from somebody taking our magic.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? And so we give that part away. So I ain't rocking with them. But when it comes to just black people, wherever they at, and I don't even care the environment.
Right.
Like I get a lot of flack. I got flack. It's weird because I got flack for dealing with the conscious community.
Right.
And I used to always say, well, ain't they black? Like it's almost like when black people get righteous and shit.
Right.
They be forgetting that they was once them grimy niggas that they now hating on.
You feel me?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I love them because them grimy niggas usually be the best ones.
You feel?
You know what I mean? Because how did they get grimy?
Right.
Look, you know, to be let's say all I'm gonna say is on the left hand side. Not that I agree with it, right? To be on the left hand path, right? But to be on the left hand path, to be the greatest drug dealer.
Yeah.
You're not sitting in the house.
You active.
To be the greatest thief, you're not sitting in the house.
You active.
You active. You actively out there. If you go to the gym and you want to get big, you're not sitting there just posing and taking pictures. You getting under the weights and you pushing the weights.
That pressure.
So my mind state says, if I could take him, flip him, and get him on the right-hand side, if he's a go-getter for that, imagine how much he'll be a go-getter for the opposite.
That's right.
Whereas leadership looks at them as if they're the problem.
Like they're expendable.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Where the leadership is the problem. Because the reason why these cats is dealing drugs and broken homes is because the leadership that predated them failed them. Right. You know what I mean? They failed them to the point to where they like, this is the way I gotta survive. Right. So that's how I look at it.
Nah, I'm glad you bring that up. I want to touch on something and then get back to that. Okay. Right? I wanted to touch on counsel. Okay. Right? Which was very important. And you brought up the fact that, you know, you have counseling or you have elders to counsel you. Right. And I was taught earlier in my years that youth was for war and elders were for counsel. Right. You feel me? So from my perspective, from my vantage point, when I see movements falter, when I see those same people that you were talking about that are unruly, these quote unquote, I call them knuckle draggers. And they call them 85ers and all of this stuff. Right. But you know, I'm like, these is niggas without counsel. You feel me? They haven't received the proper counseling from a proper body of elders that not only did they respect, but these elders gotta respect themselves. Right. Because one thing that I could say about the general, you know, through all of the years of being in Harlem and this whole YouTube wave and everything, you know, and you know, we got researchers on our side. Right. Everybody's digging for dirt. Everybody looking for flaws. Looking for something. And it was like, you know, they weren't able to find these things from this group of elders who they would love to find it on so they could discredit the whole organization. Yeah. You know what I mean? So when it comes, so the word elders for counsel, not olders. Right, I know what you mean. Because there's some elders sitting around right now outside, you know, wasting away that are not elders. So I definitely respect that. I want to know from you, at what level of from 1 to 10 would you put the importance of having elders as counsel, even if you don't belong to an organization? If, like you said, if you're active, if you're outside, if you're in the shit, if you're in the mix, how important is it to have a group of elders, whether it's women or men, that can help guide you like a spirit guide, similar to what you say? They tell you where to go, where not to go, where to pop up at, where not to pop up at. And I know that sometimes they'll burn you because you be like, damn, I had these new ISUPK Air Force Ones, you know, or I got invited. We was all gonna, you know what I mean? So how important would you say that is to keeping you in alignment and in keeping you on
I think
purpose?
it's a 10. I'd be a full out gremlin without counsel. I wouldn't even know like where I would be. And when I say at a 10, and from a counseling perspective, like counsel is so important to us that we don't just counsel people that are just like in our organization.
Right.
Like if you're not in our organization, we counsel. I counsel a lot of people that are not in ISUBK and sometimes don't even end up in ISUBK. They go join some other stuff, but they still get the counsel. That's how important it is, and that's why I quoted that scripture, in counsel the city is protected.
Right.
Think in our generation, from where we come up from, you would always have the elders in your neighborhood.
Right.
That would be like what we call OGs. The village that would raise the youth.
Yes.
Because now, when you get older, at some point, you ain't moving fast like that no more. But you see the youth coming up, they're replacing you.
Right.
So just like regeneration, like when a potato dies or when an onion dies, you see the baby onion growing within that onion.
Right.
You understand? So now, as the youth is coming up, as the elders are getting older, you see the youth coming up. They the ones growing while we're going away.
Right.
So if we're not giving them the proper counsel, how are they gonna know what to do?
That's what I'm saying.
You know
all
what I'm
that
saying?
Experience gone.
Right.
It's
And all
not
that
even
wasted experience. Yeah, especially if the experience ain't guided in the right direction.
Right.
When you made a point to say just because you're old don't make you an elder.
Right.
Everybody out here in our neighborhoods, because we have given up and be more on the left side, we don't give a lot of good advice. But if we had counsel, my counsel comes from the generals, which comes from the Most High. And if we had counsel and a moral authority that goes with it, so when you go to a counselor, like the scriptures say, out of 1,000 people have but one counselor. So I can't go to you, and you.
Right.
I got to find that one brother.
Right.
And that one brother got to be on the right accord. And that's who I get the counsel from. And if you get a counselor that tells you everything you want to hear, that's how you know that's not your counselor. Your counselor should be able to come in. You going to come to him with this great idea. You want to do this, you want to do that. And he might say, no, I don't think that's a good idea.
Right.
If he has the heart to tell you that to your face, then that's the counselor that you should have.
How do you keep your counselor focused and not faltering? What I mean by that is, imagine if I had found that one counselor who I stand on whatever this man says and I'm locked in with him. But one day I'm riding down the streets and I see my counselor doing some fuck shit. You feel me? And it throws me, I almost, you know what I mean? It
that's the worst thing you can see.
World.
You know what that's going to do?
It shatters me.
You ain't going to get no counsel from him no more. And that's what the beauty of the Bible, like in Ephesians, the 6th chapter, say, servants be obedient to your masters.
Yes.
Right? Now, most people use that for slavery. But what the part that they miss is that the masters have to be obedient to the servants too.
Right.
So I got my generals, I have to serve them.
Right.
They also have to serve me.
Right.
So the same way they giving me instructions and stuff that I have to do, they have to do the same thing. That's how this works, because the person giving you counsel on whatever it is, you can't see them doing no crazy ass shit.
Right.
Because how you gonna, like a cat that's getting high, that let's say you trying not to get high.
Yeah.
And you going to this cat and he counseling you on it, and then you see him getting high, how you gonna counsel you?
Right.
If you got a problem sleeping with whores or something like that,
Right.
and the brother telling you this is what you don't do, and you see him coming out of the strip club, he can't tell you that.
Right.
So
be like, don't be like me. I'm doing this tonight, but don't be like me.
Yeah, don't be like you.
This shit hurts.
It's a give and take with the counseling. So they know that they're upheld to the same standard that they're requiring of me.
Yes.
And that's what we got to put. We got to, in our neighborhoods, we got to reinvent the standard that we're going to live by, what we're going to allow, what we're not going to allow.
Facts.
When we can get to that point, then that council is going to save the city.
So those standards that you speak of, if I was not in one of these closed door meetings, if I was not a part of the organization, you know, I don't see those standards on the wall. I don't see those standards on your chest.
Right.
I don't see those standards. How could those standards find me? How would I be introduced to these much needed standards? Because what you just mentioned is something, it's an ingredient that I feel that our nation, our people, my generation, the younger generations, like that's what they're yearning for. Brothers that don't have father figures, uncles, and positive role models, and the sisters as well. How do we even get these quote unquote tenets or these commandments or these rules?
One thing I love about ISUBK, man, Jenny Yohana had us all in his cage. Like he had us in his cage and shit, like a bunch of lions. He just got in the cage.
Right.
And then he just lift that bitch up and said, go.
Right.
And then what we had to do at that point, we had to go everywhere.
Right.
So we had to go to the Atlanta, to the Maryland, to the Carolinas, to California. We have to go on social media. We got to be everywhere, like you said, the people that don't have it,
Right.
to spread that knowledge.
Right.
Like Christ said, you can't put your light under a candle, it's gonna go out. You gotta let your light shine.
Right.
So I'm everywhere.
Right.
When I'm at knowledge, here's the bugged out part about it, right?
Right.
When I go into different spaces, I'd be surprised. Like I met King Los one time.
Yeah.
I met King Los
At a battle rap.
at a battle rap event.
Right.
I didn't even know he knew me.
That's right.
I'm on a stage at the battle rap because I met B Dot, and so I'm on the stage. B
That
Dot.
was a polite battle, right?
No, this wasn't polite. Y'all could give me the credit for killing that nigga. I get all the credit for killing that nigga for life, but we can talk about that in a second.
Yeah.
But
he must have died twice if that's the case.
I was telling niggas about him and that shit he was doing, that he was just like his father.
Right.
Before Across the Line happened. When we
Right,
was
right,
at the
right.
Brooklyn Theater, and I was talking about
in Flatbush.
remember,
You
Flatbush,
cooked.
remember?
You cooked.
Yeah.
You cooked
I was
in that
talking
one.
about that shit back
That's
then.
a classic. You
Listen.
cooked his wives too.
Yeah.
Yeah. The fuck?
Remember I said he
You-
twirling around and shit
you
like that?
cooked in
And
that
everybody was like, Cap, you going too far. He's not like that. He ain't doing that. And now he's in jail for that. Which lets you know.
He was like, he was almost like Kendrick back there. He was
Yeah,
the early Drake
yeah,
accusations and shit.
yeah.
Not
Yeah,
the
so-
boy. Not the boy. Yeah, the boy.
Yeah, the boy.
Oh,
and
where's
now we
that
find
at?
out.
That's a classic.
That's
I think Side buried
online
that
still.
shit.
No, you know what? Yeah, Side. I'm gonna see.
Niggas
Because
buried that.
Yes, they buried a lot. Like Side buried his version Across the Line because he told me his angle was worse than the angle that we had.
That's a
So
fact.
when it came to Polite got shut down. But that battle in Polite was so good. So when I'm on the stage with B Dot, Los stands next to me. And he's like, "TAZARYACH, what you doing up here?" And I'm looking at Los like I'm supposed to look at Los
Right,
like,
like,
man,
what
this is
you-
Los
right,
the battle
right,
rap. Like,
right.
damn, I'm supposed, hey, what's up, Los? But he doing that back to me. And so that lets you know two things. One, the work that we're doing is working.
Yeah.
And two, you never know who's watching you.
Who's watching?
Remember, you made an excellent point that said everybody got researchers. So
Yeah.
everybody is trying to find some dirt on ISUBK, Commander Jenny House, especially me.
Right.
Like when I'm saying especially me, if they can put dirt on you, then they don't have to listen to you or your credibility goes down.
Right.
The minute that they can get dirt on you, and they can be any kind of dirt. Like when that woman did that interview, man,
Right.
they had me as a damn child molester, alcoholic, woman beater, all of that shit. I'm with the same women
Right.
that I was with back then.
Right.
Same daughters, same kids, same all of that. And so even in that, you survived that. And so if you can uphold yourself to that standard, you just keep pushing. So we go everywhere because that's the only way they're going to feel it. There wasn't no Atlanta in 2013.
Yeah.
There wasn't no school in Atlanta.
Right.
It took somebody coming down to Atlanta. Like Officer Yeremiah is not here right now. He started off in North Carolina. I raised that brother.
Right.
Over the phone.
Right.
At that time, I don't think the internet was as popping.
Wasn't popping
So
like
we
that.
was doing like stuff over the phone.
Right.
I met him, gave him his Hebrew name. He comes to Atlanta. Now Atlanta's built.
Right.
You got other brothers in Texas. So it comes from constantly pushing. Nobody's gonna know anything unless you market it. If you don't market it
And
and
promote
push
it.
it
Right.
and clout. Like I was saying this on my radio show the other day. Everybody make it seem like clout is bad. Clout is not bad It's only bad how you go about it.
That's right.
Everybody wants clout. There's
That's
nobody that makes a post online that does not want clout. It could be 10 likes. If you're a nobody, you got 10 likes, you might feel like you made it. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, to get to the 100,
yeah,
you gotta
to
get to the 10 first.
You got to get to the 10 first. It's only when, you got to twerk for it or shake your ass for it or do something.
Be a court jester.
Yeah,
like
exactly. Exactly. So when you're doing things like that for clout, then it's bad. But to get on an interview, to do this, to do that, that's what you're supposed to do. If I don't battle polite, if I don't battle the polites and the Sinettas and go on these different places, we wouldn't know each other.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So all that stuff is necessary.
Interesting. So going veggie backing, so because we don't do piggyback.
Right.
Veggie back into the earlier statement that you made about basically catching the brothers and sisters when they are quote unquote in their dark stages or whatnot, or when they're knuckle dragging. I've been behind the wall before, and I know that it takes, the Most High, because I say that that's our vacation, you know what I mean? People call it college and whatnot, and when they go behind the wall, it's like, yo, I was in school, and, but I tell people sometimes you get your life saved when you get sat down, because you was out here moving too fast, you know what I mean? You was almost gonna get your shit knocked back, and you got your little skid bid or you got sat down. And when you're behind the walls, you realize that some of the people who were playing ignorant in the world, or just keeping up with the Jones and playing a character, you begin to see that some of our brightest and some of our smartest, some of our most quote unquote talented are trapped behind these walls and whatnot. So I commend organizations like yours and other organizations that capture people before they even got to go through that.
Right.
You feel me? And turn them around so you don't got to go through the experience of being trapped, being a slave and whatnot this modern day system, and then coming home saying, "Hey mom, I'm up right now," or "Hey baby moms, I got a new name," and you know what I'm saying? "I don't eat bacon." They like, nigga, you know what I'm saying? But I know that they respect it more when you don't do it under stress and duress.
Right.
When you do it willingly and whatnot. So I just brought that up to just say that, the work is very important to capture our people that while they're in that stage before they get caught up in the system. So my question to you is, what is y'all approach? Like, let's say that you come amongst a group of, wayward brothers and sisters who are out there, and you could just look at them and tell where they're headed and whatnot, either that grave or that cell. What is the intervention? How do y'all basically intercept? And based off of y'all metrics, what is your success rate? Like, if there's 10 of them and you get one, is that successful? Is that a touchdown? Like, what's your metrics?
So sometimes I'll speak like, man, I may not get none of them.
Yeah.
Like going into it, I don't set an expectation because there becomes a letdown with that.
Right.
So like if let's say if it's them 10, I'm saying, man, I should be able to get at least 4 of them.
Right.
Let's say if I don't get none of them,
that
could be depressing.
It could
you know what I mean? I walk away, how am I go to the next 10 and to the next 5?
Right.
Or whatever, like the scriptures say, my sheep hear my voice. So maybe them brothers just didn't hear it at that time. But when I usually talk to people, because the Bible has been shoved down our throat from a Christian perspective, if I just come in there and say, what Peter said this and Paul said that, and shit like that, them niggas gonna be like, man, that's a white man. Peter, this, and they ain't ready to get the whole history of, no, these is black, the Israelites is black and all of that stuff. So I'll go into environments and without using the Bible verse, I'll talk just like the Bible. Like when we think about Christ, who was a nigga and was a thoroughbred.
Right.
You never really see him quote scripture. He'll paraphrase the scripture, but he's not reading scriptures. He'll read and assess what's happening. Right. And then he'll just talk like that. That's how I do it.
Speak the language of the people.
Exactly. So if I'm going, I use, I used to go on, I'm still on this app called Clubhouse. And I was in this room called The Hunter Side, run by Whack 100, crazy nigga, right?
Right.
And I would go in his rooms.
Right.
And when you go in his rooms, you getting every fucking thing. You getting some hoe shit, some gang shit, some business shit,
right.
some street shit. You getting everything. But you now, in their defense, what you were saying, like before they get to the darkness, it's a lot of light in that darkness.
Facts.
Like a lot of them cats that be on that hunter side, it's a lot of light. Them niggas is smart.
That's right.
It's just circumstances. And that's what I like when I would think about brothers and sisters, I always know that if they circumstances was different,
that's right,
they wouldn't be the way that they are. A lot of them niggas is smart. A lot of them sisters is smart and educated, but maybe somebody touched them wrong,
right,
or did something to them, or they didn't grow up without their mother or father, so their survival tactics just messed up their moral compass. So when I go into an environment like that, I'll just speak to them in a language that they can understand.
right.
So I don't have to give them the Bible, but I'm giving them the Bible. And then as I start talking to them, they be like, nah, we want to hear from Cat. What you say, brother? What you say on that? And so now once I get to that part,
right,
then I could go in and then teach. And they say, well, where you get this from? Now I could say, well, I'm an Israelite. I teach this and I teach that. But I don't
right.
shove the Bible down their throat right away because everybody ain't ready for that.
So it's the proverbial, when the student is ready, then the teacher shall appear. So no, I'm dead ass. So when they call on you,
right.
when they ask for it, that's when you receive. Rather than coming up in that bitch, I got free Bibles, pass it out, and people
Real
are
talk.
like, yo, can you?
When I first got into that room, and I'm using that room because this is a real time environment of what you're asking.
Case study. Right.
When I first got into that room, they didn't want to hear nothing about no Bible.
That's right.
In 2 weeks, I would do hour-long sessions teaching on the Bible. And what you also find out, them cats in darkness,
Yeah.
oh, they want to know about God. They want to
Right.
know about why their life is like this. Why is this happening? And they want a real answer. They don't want the Christian answer where God gonna make it right in the morning, just pray on it and stuff like that. They want a real live, this happened to you because your mom left you, you was a survivalist.
Right.
This happened to you because the environment that you grew up in made you believe that selling drugs was okay, being in gangs was okay, robbing and stealing was okay, but that's not the way it was. Now, once I do that, I'm teaching the Bible.
Right.
Like, I mean, when I say certified teaching the Bible, I mean teaching the Bible to where it got to a point to where whenever they wanted to know anything, they said, hey man, get Cap up in here.
Right.
Get Captain TAZARYACH in here. We need him to talk
You're
and
the
break this
expert
down.
now, right.
Exactly.
You be on
And
that
so
topic.
that's what we would do in every environment, the conscious community, the Christians, everywhere we go, to where our reputation is now, we want to hear the Israelites' perspective on this. To where everybody in every environment, I started seeing it in battle rap. Like, I didn't know battle rap was, like, I love battle rap. Like, I debate like a battle rapper. Like,
Right.
straight up. I would listen to, like, Surf is my favorite of all time. He the greatest. Yeah, Surf is like the creme de la creme for me.
Right.
Like, I don't think, like, he just knows how to make everything work in battle rap. Yeah, he checks it all.
I ain't gonna lie.
So I would listen to him. Yeah, so I would listen to him, Nitty, all these different battle rappers before I would go battle a Polite or a Shaka or go on Jesse Lee Peterson or go in the Clubhouse. And so I could get into that. So they helping me get into my mode.
Right.
You know what I mean? To battle. Right. And even that's biblical. Like when you go into the Bible and read when Elijah battled the 450 prophets of Baal, he's clowning them. He's like, where your God at? Maybe that nigga's sleeping. Maybe he taking a nap. Maybe we can't find it. That's how he talking in the Bible.
Right.
So battle rappers is encompassing the spirit of the prophets in the Bible. And so when you do that, you get into all these different modes. So I could go to them, and now it becomes a little easier because the Israelites are being requested.
Right.
Like we being now requested because they getting tired of the church. The church is pussies, and they want to know. And it's interesting because we all spiritual. I'm using that. I didn't mean to do the air quotes, but we all spiritual. Black people by default are just naturally spiritual people, and they're gonna always want an answer that satisfies that inner desire. I don't care what you want to call it. So now, when they hear about these Israelites, oh, them Israelites do it like this. Like the brothers were just saying, when they see me do the cross the line with Polite, they coming into the school because they think, oh, y'all could do that. And now they coming into the school because they ain't got to lose their masculinity.
Right.
They could still be aggressive. They could still be a man. And that's another thing that they try to beat out of black men is being a man is now not the thing to do.
Right.
You know what I mean? To make you extra soft. Like if you stand on your 10,
Right.
now you bad.
Right,
when
right,
really
right.
we should be aggressive. There's something called righteous aggression that's a good thing.
Right.
So
I agree. I did a video in 2014, I believe. It was with Doggy Diamonds, right? Back when it was called Forbes DVD.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
And we were going in on the debate culture, right? And I brought up a point that, ruffled some feathers back then, but I said that if a war were to kick off, the
I
first
remember.
people that I'm tapping in with
it was the Israelites.
is the Israelites
yeah.
because of their demeanor, because of what they represent in the fold of things. I was looking at it from a worldview, like a Voltron perspective. Like, nah, you don't throw them away. And this is before our community kind of softened up. You know what I mean? This was before that
This is
happened.
when it was a little bit more thorough.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah.
So, I've always seen not just that aspect of it, but I've always recognized what that is. You know what I mean? Like you said, we gotta focus on men being men. Like, we can't use the excuse, nah, they be too riled up. Nigga, y'all, but we out here standing next to the drug dealers,
Right.
and they rolling dice, and they selling pornography right there, and I seen a nigga pockets get dug, and you talking about that's your man from Brooklyn, he a shooter, but you selling all of this consciousness, but they too loud though, right?
Right.
They too loud. Nah, we not gonna do that. So, I was always that kind of advocate, but I wanna pivot, cause you brought up battle rap.
Yeah.
And we are in the aftermath of what they called one of the greatest battles in rap.
Right.
And and to be honest with you,